Let's get back to Hurricane Helene, right now gaining strength in the Gulf of Mexico. But it did make landfall today in Mexico on the Yucatan Peninsula as a Category 1 storm. But now as the storm moves north towards Florida, it's expected to be upgraded to Category 3 after gaining the strength going through those warm Gulf waters. As our Weather Impact Team meteorologist Chris Bianchi now explains, there are indirect impacts that we're feeling in Colorado because of Helene.
Well, many of you have probably heard that Hurricane Helene moving its way through the eastern Gulf of Mexico, but this storm is going to have an indirect impact on our weather right here in Colorado. First of all, you've probably heard about this storm, likely to make landfall across the northwest coast of Florida as a major Category 3 hurricane. Hurricane warnings extending across most of the Florida coastline, at least the west coast of Florida. Tropical storm warnings across most of the state. Now, what's going to happen as we head over the course of the next 24 to 36 hours is that the remnants of that hurricane will feed into this area of low pressure across the eastern United States. Now, the way to think about weather is it's essentially a constant balancing act, right? If it's cold in one place, it's hot somewhere else. If it's really rainy in one place, it's really dry somewhere else. So if you've got a lot of really active weather across the southeast United States, you got to have that balancing act, and that is in the form of our ridge of high pressure that is directly overhead for us here in Colorado. And so for us here across the western United States, Hurricane Helene is likely going to reinforce this area of low pressure across southeast United States and perhaps strengthen this ridge of high pressure just a little bit because air flows from high to low pressure. So the result is we're probably going to be hot and dry for the foreseeable future. That said, a bit more of a direct impact. If you're a CU fan, you're heading to Florida, of course, coming up on Saturday. Now, we could have some showers and storms. Those will not be because of Hurricane Helene. That's going to be from a separate cold front. But if you're flying to Florida, don't go tomorrow. Don't go on your Thursday. Go on Friday. That's when the storm will clear off to the north and go away from Florida. Meantime, it's going to be just about the surface of the sun there in Florida for us for that game. UCF, Orlando, Florida, middle of the afternoon. I would say that's probably intentional that they schedule that game middle of the afternoon. 96-degree air temperature, heat index probably 105 at kickoff as the Buffs take on the Knights coming up. But again, some of those indirect impacts for us here in Colorado all week long because of Hurricane Helene.